Hi guys and welcome back to Macaroon. This plushie was inspired by a viral video that I saw a few months ago which showed a flipping octopus toy. I actually tried making a DIY version of that, but it ended up being a total fail since all the tentacles were so difficult to sew. So I decided to try a simpler shape and came up with this adorable owl and penguin plush. I love how this turned out and you'll be amazed at how easy it is to make. Like all of my plushie tutorials, there's no pattern cutting involved and you only need to start using fluffy socks. These are normally sold in discount shops or supermarkets, and I've also included loads of links below. Kawaii plushies look good in any color, so you can easily make pink penguins or purple owls. There's no need to worry if you can't find the same colored socks as I'm using here. First, take the sock you want to use for the penguin and turn it inside out. Then trim off any extra bits if needed. Now find a water bottle or soda can and pull the sock over it like this. This simply stretches out the fabric and prevents anything from accidentally sticking to itself. Then take some polyester stuffing or cotton wool and pull off some small pieces about the size of an egg. Apply a blob of hot glue and start gluing this stuffing all over the sock. You can also glue the pieces of stuffing to each other so everything is more stable, but be extra careful not to burn your fingers. Try to use very small amounts of glue because dried hot glue turns lumpy, so if you apply too much at once then you'll be able to feel this through your plush. Keep going until your sock looks a bit like a cotton candy on a stick. The whole purpose of this step is to fix the stuffing onto the sock so it doesn't slide around when you flip it. Now take the second sock with the correct side facing outwards. Pull this over your stuffing as smoothly as possible. This might seem tricky at first, but the sock is actually extremely stretchy, so you just need to work in small steps. Then gently push the stuffing around a bit so everything looks even. Once you have this owl penguin shape, just cut off any extra sock fabric. It's best to do both layers separately and trim the ends so they look straight. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, then please go check it out under my username Macaroon. I always switch my videos to public live on Instagram, so if you're following me there then you have the best chances of getting to YouTube early and having your comments seen or replied to. Now take a needle and simply sew the edges shut. You don't need to use any special techniques here, however try to make your stitches close to each other. This makes the edge a lot stronger so there's no risk of stuffing coming out when you flip the plush. If you like making plushies, then please be sure to watch my video here which shows you a lot more sewing hacks, such as how to tie knots or hide the thread. And now your basic flipping plush is done. Flip this a few times to see which side looks most symmetrical. This can be used as the front of your owl. Next, find another sock in a different color and cut off the toe section. Cut this open again lengthwise so you have two round shapes which are the perfect size for the tummy. Position this onto the plush and sew the edges down. I recommend starting from the middle and then sewing down one side, then doing the same on the other side and saving the base till last. This lets you keep an eye on the shape and you can easily pull the fabric slightly to make it look more symmetrical. Trim the base of the tummy and sew this into place. And by the way, if you don't want to make a flipping plushie, then you can always stuff the toe of a sock and make a normal penguin or owl plush using this design. Next, take the upper part of the sock and cut a partial circle into the side. Make sure the edges are still attached to each other so you can get a shape like this. Place this onto the owl's face and sew it into place. Try to use small stitches that are very close to each other because this keeps the edges neat and prevents fluff from falling out. Now grab two beads for the eyes. The most important thing to watch out for in this step is that you don't accidentally sew into the penguin layer. By placing your hand into the plush, you can get a feeling for how far you can go without coming out the other side. Take a bit of extra care here so you don't poke yourself by accident. If you find this part too difficult, then you can always use buttons instead or simply cut out circles from black felt and stick those on. For the beak, I'm actually going to use needle felt because that's the only thing I have at hand. However, you can easily create a simple triangle shape using fabric and sew that on instead. For the final touch, I'm going to use some soft pastel dust. This step also works great with eyeshadow since we only need dark brown and black tones. Scrape out some powder and then use a Q-tip or eyeshadow brush to paint some stripes down the stomach. The design for this owl is inspired by the one from the film Lost in Translation. If you know which scene I'm talking about, then I'm sure you love that film as well. Lastly, just add some shading behind the eyes and your owl plush is done. Now simply flip it to the other side and let's get started with the penguin. Take the second piece of the white sock that you cut out earlier and place this over the tummy. Trim the base so it looks slightly rounded and repeat it on the other side. For the penguin design, you want to sew the tummy part slightly higher than on the owl. And just like before, I'm going to place my hand inside the plush to avoid sewing through the layers when attaching the eyes. Try to keep the eyes fairly low and wide apart. This is the cutest design when making kawaii characters. Next, I'm making the beak using needle felt. Once again, you can easily make this using fabric felt or fluffy sock instead. Attach this onto the face using small even stitches. For the finishing touch, I'm going to use some blusher. Just paint on some cute cheeks and your penguin is done. Now for the magic of flipping your two plushies back and forth. I think this is a great seasonal DIY since in many countries right now, autumn is turning into winter, so why not change your owl into a penguin? I hope you enjoyed this video and please subscribe to Macaroon and my other channel Cute Life Hacks for more creative DIYs like this. I have a ton of other plushie tutorials, so be sure to check out all the links below. One of my most popular sock plush videos was this black cat Halloween tutorial from 3 years ago. Since we're so close to Halloween again, why not give that a try? This is Joanna, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!